Hi, welcome to This Week in Property. I'm Jayashree Kurup, I'm editor on Magic Bricks. I've got with me Prabhakar Sinha, he's a real estate editor on Times of India. Today we're talking about the transport corridors. India seems to move along its transport corridors. All real estate development is actually happening along these corridors. This can mean roads, this can mean expressways, this can mean the metro corridors, and in certain cases, this can, in Mumbai's case, can also mean the Trans-Harbour links. Policy paralysis had held up India's infrastructure development for a long time. Today, in addition to all the boost that's happening thanks to RERA and other policies on real estate, we can also see that in parallel, the infrastructure segment is also moving much faster than before. Yes, there are delays. We are not saying that there are no delays, but we would like to pick up the projects that are happening and how they impact the real estate along the route. Prabhakar, let's talk about the Delhi NCR. You are an expert on the Delhi NCR. Let's talk about the roads first. What are the big road networks that are going to impact the real estate along the Delhi NCR?
Now, first of all, let me tell you that the way the infrastructure is getting developed, say in Gurgaon itself, inside Gurgaon, now if you drive down through this cyber city and all, now it's really a millennium city now.
Just to brief you, there is a network of tunnels, underpasses and so on, so that there is a signal-free traffic between sector 56-57, which is a high-density residential area, to the cyber city, which is a high-density commercial area.
Yeah, from if you drive, starts from the NH8 itself. If you take the turn towards left to the cyber city, you can go up to the Sona Road, and there is no red light now. You can drive very easily and very fast also. The roads are very wide, there are tunnels, there are things like that, and this will certainly, now that entire zone has become completely, jam free. So this is going to add value to those areas. Besides that, like the Dwarka Expressway. Now Dwarka Expressway is going to be completed, particularly it will become operational by say the next 3 months time. They are saying that by March 31st they will be doing it.
Prabhakar will also like to tell the consumers why we are speaking about it with confidence. There has been a notification.
Yeah, yesterday they advertised it, and the notification in fact have come on the first week of December, in which the NHAI has acquired the land on the Delhi side of the Dwarka Expressway, which was which held back the construction for last 5 years. Now after this, most of the bottlenecks have been removed. Now only the construction works is left, and there are some patch of the land where the residents have to be relocated, and the High Court has already found the ways out that how to be done that, how the land to be allotted to them, and if that is done, then the authority is also hoping, and the developers are saying it, that now the road will be completed in the next 3 months time. Now if that happens, so this will decongest the existing NH8, because most of the traffic which is going towards North Delhi or towards West Delhi, they will drive down towards Dwarka Expressway and go towards Janakpuri from Dwarka itself. So they need not come to Dhaula Kuan or that side of the Delhi, which really the main cause of the congestion of this Dhaula Kuan Gurgaon road existing NH8. So this is one of the major development that is going to take place.
There is also a parallel development happening at the IFCO Chowk segment, where there is between Rajiv Chowk and IFCO Chowk, a large number of overpasses, underpasses.
Underpasses are under construction, and particularly that the entire stretch, because they are trying to make, earlier what used to happen, that lot of traffic used to take U-turn, and for that they used come to the underpass, this flyover, and below that they used to take, and because of that the jam used to take place. Now they are trying to remove all those things, and if that happens, that entire spaces will become completely jam free.
So let's go to the extreme. Is there anything else in Gurgaon that's happening?
No, not right now, particularly on Dwarka Expressway and this.
And the southern peripheral road is any which way.
Anyway, yeah, and they are connecting this northern peripheral road and the southern peripheral road. They are trying to connect it through I mean overbridge.
Right.
That will be around 600 meters overbridge.
Right.
And if that connectivity happens, then this will be a seamless traffic movement from the south to the north or across the NH8 without putting any pressure on the NH8 itself or creating any sort of jam.
And Gurgaon's problem was not only that there were jams entering Gurgaon. There is a lot of Gurgaon's commercial space is spread all across the city, and there has been a lot of jams within the city also across the residential areas.
And they are trying to take care of that also
right.
through the lot of underpasses and a lot of flyovers they are building inside the Gurgaon itself, so that this traffic movement becomes very smooth and it will be jam free.
Prabhakar, very realistically, how long do you think this will take?
Now, this entire construction, look, Dwarka Expressway will be built, say, in the 3-4 months' time, it will become operational. But to have this Clover flyover near Khirki Daula, or to have connecting road between southern and the northern peripheral road near Khirki Daula, that will take at least another 2 years' time. So, they have given a timeline till 2019 December. As the construction work this government is taking, I believe that that is not, improbable that we can expect, or we should expect that it will not be completed.
In fact, I think the IFCO Chowk, Rajiv Chowk to IFCO Chowk work, we have been monitoring that work, and we've seen that that is probably the fastest infrastructure construction work we've seen. It's all using precast. They've created a precast factory right there, and the speed of construction has been much faster than what we are used to. So this gives us hope that maybe going forward these projects will complete much faster.
And so then the movement and the driving time from Gurgaon to Delhi will also reduce, and inside Gurgaon also. Otherwise, earlier, if you want to go to, say, from Gurgaon itself, the DLF colonies, to, say, Medanta, it used to take 1 hour, 1.5 hours, sometimes 2 hours it used to take. So, inside Gurgaon itself, traffic was so bad that people were not ready to come out of their house to drive down to go to nearest place. So, that thing has to be taken care of, and I believe with this kind of a construction which they are doing now, Gurgaon, very short span, I believe the next 2 to 3 years down the line, it will become really a millennium city.
Right.
So,
one more thing that is happening is, while traffic is being taken care of and a lot of road space is being created, we also know that there is the residents of Gurgaon also campaigning for safe transport in terms of bicycles, walking, jogging, and so on. When he talks about the millennium city, these are also, pedestrianizing a city is also part of a very major part of the city, and we whenever we see some improvement or action happening on that front, we will pick up the pedestrianization.
They have the space on the road, they have the space, and they have the provision for that, and only thing is this, that first they'll have to make all this road so that the traffic movement become very smooth, and after that they'll have to develop all these pedestrians specific or the cycling specific provisions along the roads.
Right.
So that is the Gurgaon side.
Let's go to the Ghaziabad, Noida, Greater Noida.
Now in Ghaziabad side, the most important is this widening of the NH24, because this is the lifeline of this entire area. And that is going to be, as per the plan, it should be completed by 2018. Work is getting progressed in a very fast pace, and NHAI is confident that they will be completing it by 2018 December. Now, if that happens, then from Nizamuddin Bridge, before Nizamuddin, that crossings from where it starts, till Dasna, there will be 16-lane road. That will be
How many lanes do we have currently?
Currently, 4 lanes.
4 lanes. So 4 to 16, 4 times increase in the road space on the NH24 by the end of 2018. The reason we've picked up this issue is because we are checking out 2017, the year that was, and looking into 2018 and seeing what is happening in the news year. And we feel that infrastructure is definitely
exactly, and there is no red light on that along that road. So basically, what will happen, that if that happens, then the main carrier of the entire this area will be really of world class. And from Dasna, the road will go towards Meerut also, and then or otherwise it will go to Hapur.
When will it reach Hapur and Meerut?
Hapur, it will reach sometime in 2019. And Meerut, though the timeline is given by 2019, but NHAI is saying that they will be completing it by 2018 itself, because they have already acquired the land for the required purpose, and the construction is going all along the entire corridor. It's not that they are starting from one point and moving towards one. They have started construction all along the corridor.
Right.
So if that is done, then the connectivity towards this side, main trunk route, will be ready. And besides that, this one on the Hindon Canal, they are bridging this elevated road.
That's the one that will connect to Rajnagar Extension.
Rajnagar Extension.
Right.
So from Rajnagar Extension, if you want to come towards Delhi, then till Delhi Gate, I said the UP Gate, and just before that, one can drive down, say, in 15 minutes time. And from there, you can drive along the canal to this Delhi Noida road in, say, another 15-20 minutes. And from there you cross the DND and you are in South Delhi.
So if you work in Noida, if you work in Ghaziabad, if you're working in if you're living in Meerut and you are working in any of these areas, life is likely to become much easier for you because of these reasons. One, there is a lot of residential stock, and we've been talking about it over the past few episodes. The second thing is that your road transport connectivity is significantly being enhanced.
So the commuting time will reduce drastically. Say presently around 1.5 hours to around 35 minutes to 40 minutes time.
Right.
So that will, reduce that will make it very convenient, number one. Number two, it will reduce the driving cost also.
Right.
And the people can think of that, okay, they can live in the Rajnagar and they can work in South Delhi also. And today, people do work, but it's
very tough.
Very tough. It takes 2 hours to drive down or the drive, commuting from one place to the south till South Delhi. So these things is going to improve in another 2 years, at least. At least 1 year or to 2 years, at the most 2 years.
Right. Now, there is another, the NCR also rides on the metro, right? The NCR real estate rides on the metro. As the metro progresses, there is more traction in the residential markets or the commercial markets. Let's talk about what's going to happen in 2018 in the metro front.
Right now, all these roads, particularly say from in the Noida side, the metro which is right now coming from the South Delhi to the Noida near this Supertex project, it will cross Kalindi Kunj and reach to the
This is the one that comes from Janakpuri, and it will come all the way up to, I think, Botanic Garden.
Botanical Garden. It will come to the Botanical Garden, and from there one can go through the interchange and one could take the another metro to Connaught Place side, and then or another metro to Sector 63 also. The same metro will go till Sector 62, 63 in Noida itself. And there is some talk, or they are thinking that the metro should also connect to the other side metros, which is coming from the
Vaishali metro.
Vaishali metro also.
Right.
And
the Vaishali metro, incidentally, is the Ghaziabad metro. It connects Connaught Place to Ghaziabad and therefore to the rest of the city. So it's actually become a network of
and then
corridors.
Another metro to Greater Noida. That is also going to be start in 2018 itself, and that will be a huge, convenient point for the.
In fact, one of the reasons why we see a lot of the consumers coming back is, one, values have been stable, two, projects are under completion because of the RERA and pressures of delivery, and the third thing is that there is a zero defect liability period of 5 years that RERA mandates, which means that if you buy a house and you see that it's quality, there are problems with the quality, you can go back to RERA and say, I want my developer to fix it. So consumers have that kind of confidence. The other big issue is that places that were very far flung and difficult to commute to, like Prabhakar said, Ghaziabad, Greater Noida, probably even the Yamuna Expressway. These are all becoming connected either through road or through rail, but high-speed traffic, which means that you can your commute time comes down significantly.
Yeah, particularly say from the Greater Noida to Noida, the commuting time something around 15 minutes to 20 minutes only with that metro,
Right.
and to the Connaught Place another 20-25 minutes. So in 45 minutes in that metro without any hassle-free commuting time, hassle-free commuting, and they can reach to the Connaught Place.
Prabhakar, what's the distance we're talking about, Greater Noida to about Connaught Place?
Around 50 kilometers.
50 kilometers in about 25 minutes?
40 minutes.
In 40 minutes. 50 kilometers, 40 minutes, a kilometer a minute kind of speed. That is what is pushing the end users to go and look at those areas which were originally considered the boondocks.
Yeah.
But let's understand that there are two issues happening parallelly, and both of them are significant. One is completion of stuck projects. That is happening at a breakneck pace. So is infrastructure, which never ever kept pace with development.
Yeah.
So today we are talking only about the transport infrastructure. We will come back to other infrastructure and where the gaps are and so on. But today we think that transport infrastructure at least has is keeping pace with the residential construction.
Yeah, no doubt.
Now, Prabhakar, there are a few queries that our consumers have already started sending in. One is from Alka Kaur of Gurgaon, who says, what are the things a buyer must track on these transport corridors?
Particularly the commuting time. That is very important. Now, two things that whether you are driving through your own car or you are commuting through the metro, though it's costly.
Or public transport.
Or the public transport. But the commuting time is very important, and that decides the convenience today.
Right.
Because even if suppose the distance is 50 kilometer or 60 kilometer, but the driving time is only 35 minutes or 40 minutes, it's as good as today living at 7 kilometers or 8 kilometers. Say from ITO to Greater Kailas or ITO to South Delhi, driving time is today also 35 minutes. And now from the say Greater Noida to Connaught Place, if the driving time or commuting time through the metro is 35 for 40 minutes. So what will happen that the market value of all these places will start getting unlocked, and their appreciation will also start happening very fast. So what I mean to say is this, that today if one is thinking that okay, this is Greater Noida where the flats are available say for 3,500 to 4,000 rupees a square feet. Now with all these metros and all this infrastructure development, the prices also of this area is going to shoot up the day the metro will start from that area.
In fact, we have noticed, we have been tracking the metro, Delhi metro as it went into each residential area, and we have noticed that on an average there is a 10 to 25% rise in values, the sale values when the metro comes.
Yeah.
And similarly for tenancy, the vacancy of those areas practically goes away. It is fully occupied. Anything that is near the metro gets occupied because of the convenience of travel.
So the commuting time is the most important factor when you are, deciding to buy a house to live particularly.
Prabhakar, you were talking about the how the FAR is going to change.
Yeah, exactly what has happened that to finance this entire development, the infrastructure development, what government has done say in Gurgaon and Noida and Delhi is considering, they have increased the FSI for the area or the locality which is half a kilometer from the track or from the railway, this metro line. So right now say it was the FSI 1.75, in Gurgaon it has been increased to 3.5. Now from 500 meter to 800 meter it has been increased to 3. So 1.75.
Has this already happened?
Yeah, this has already happened in Gurgaon side. In Noida, for up to 500 meter, it has been done 3.5. So in Noida, the existing FSI is something 2.5, and it has been increased to 3.5. But from 500 to 800 meters, there is no norms in Noida.
Is it retrospective?
It is retrospective.
Which means that if you have a plot of land that is 500 meters from the metro, either in Gurgaon or in Noida, you will find that you can actually, your FAR is enhanced, which means that you have more built up space.
Yeah, you have more built up space, you can approach to the authority and pay certain amount for that additional FSI and you can use it.
Right.
Similarly, in Delhi also, they are planning to increase it by 1 percentage point From, say, wherever it is 1.5, they will do it 2.5, wherever it is 1.75 to 2.75, or there could be something that everywhere close to metro, I mean 500 meter on both sides of the metro, it will increase to 2.5 or 3. Now, if that happens, then in Noida, or in Delhi, the old colonies have a very low FSI. In some of the places it is 1.25, say east of Kailash. And
in fact, in Janakpuri, where the new metro line starts, I think it is still double-story flat. So you have used 0.5 or something.
Yeah, one at the most.
Or one at the most.
So if that happens, then what DDA is going to allow, the redevelopment of all these areas.
Planned redevelopment of the entire unit?
Entire unit.
Which means that if you have 200 flats in one block, that entire block can get together.
Yeah.
Use the enhanced FSI and rebuild.
Yeah, and they will increase the density also. That means the number of units that can be built on that plot, that will also be increased.
Right.
So what is the people are planning now? That they increase the size of the flat also, and then they increase some additional flat also. And they sell those additional flats, raise the money and do this entire construction almost free of cost.
Right.
And many of the, let me tell you, many of the RWAs are already working on it, and they are waiting for the DDA to come out with a final notification on this. And the day this will happen, many of the societies, the old societies particularly, which were constructed say in 80s, early 80s. And in fact in Delhi it has
from the 70s.
70s. I mean 67, 68 the first societies had come up where the FSI is 1 only. So all those societies will gain a lot, and particularly those societies have become old also, so they require redevelopment.
In fact, you see, one of the things that DDA has been trying for a long time, and for various reasons, the last, the 2021 master plan was planned on Punarnirman, redevelopment. It never went through, there were lots of challenges, but if this happens, what will happen is that you will have the kind of planned redevelopment of older areas, anything that's beyond 30, 40 years old. You can actually now legally redevelop the entire area, call in the development experts, get new properties made and allow them to sell the new properties. You get modern new units with parking, with
new facilities.
New facilities.
This like the swimming pool, gyms, and all that. People are trying to make going to make provisions for all this, and they will develop the societies in a big way.
So this is a big step forward, and we hope that 2018 will actually see this happening. Right. Now let's go on to Mohit Sharma, who's from Greater Noida, who says that transport corridors take a long time to complete and construction delays are commonplace across the country. Do you still suggest one to consider these regions? And Prabhakar, I think the concern he's raised is true. We've seen transport corridors being delayed endlessly. We've seen that in Delhi, we've seen that in Gurgaon, we've seen that in Mumbai, in Bangalore. Mumbai's metro was stuck for such a long time, but you know, in the last 1 year, 3 large infrastructure projects that were completed in Mumbai, and suddenly you saw that the areas that were actually not livable suddenly became livable because, like Prabhakar said, the commute became less. Let's talk about delays in infrastructure. And what is your
Delhi
view?
Also, it is, I mean, it's a use and it creates a lot of problem, and in fact sometimes it affects the prospects of that area. Say the Dwarka Expressway. The Dwarka Expressway was supposed to be completed by 2012, and it is still not completed. It is still under construction.
70,000 flats. How many developers?
More than 100 developers.
More than 100 developers. Some developers have actually handed over, and so many buyers, a large portion of them were end users, who have bought on the back of a promise of an infrastructure project, who are stranded. The consumers are stranded, developers are stranded. It's again, I'm telling you that while we're talking about infrastructure corridors right now, there are other parts of infrastructure which we will address in the next issue, which means that water has to come, power has to come, sewage lines have to be laid, optical fiber networking has to be done in today's world. All this is part of development before you actually are sold a house. Here it seems to the houses come first.
It's the reverse. First they sell the house, or first they build the house, You go and buy it, start living it, and then all those infrastructures are getting developed. That's how, that's how the government functions, unfortunately.
So, Prabhakar, we have been telling consumers go for ready-built houses. Should we also talk about ready-built infrastructure now?
Now, the two things here I'll tell you that now in this country, here you will have to take, and you have to value it.
It's a calculated risk you're taking, but I think this is worth exploring.
Worth taking. Now, particularly what happens that if all this infrastructure develops, then the price of that property get doubled or tripled. Now, only thing is this, that it takes time. Now, suppose it takes 3 years or 5 years time, so you'll have to calculate it. Now, whatever the government says, don't believe in that. You'll have to take your own decision. Government is saying most of the time that, okay, we will do it, particularly say the Noida extension or all those areas. And where the government invariably, they could not complete or they could not do things as per the plan. So, there is an issue. But when it is nearing completion, then you can take chance. I'm not sure that even if it is nearing completion, whether it will be completed or not.
Nobody can assure you, but at least let that infrastructure project start taking shape before you buy only because your driver was that infrastructure.
And then you see also that how important is that and what is the pressure group and how much pressure that group is going to put on the government. Now say NH24 or you say the Dwarka Expressway. Now these are become very, very important for the entire resident of that area. Right. Now if the government is not completing it, now the entire Gurgaon is going to face huge problem if the Dwarka Expressway is not completed. So now it has become a huge importance for the entire NCR region. Similarly, NH24. Now widening of NH24 is very important. Otherwise, what will happen that lot of this area will become completely unfunctional. You simply cannot live in the today.
Just to cross takes so much time.
Yeah. Even from Indirapuram to Delhi, if you are driving at the peak hours, you can't say that how much time will it take. It may take 1 hour, it may take 3 hours also. So with that kind of uncertainty, people can't function.
Right.
So government have realized it and there are a lot of pressure on the government to decongest this entire area, and for that these infrastructures are getting developed. But the day the infrastructure will be developed, the prices of this area, because all this area will become as good as or as close as the area in South Delhi or area in the other part of the city, because the infrastructure of this side is also, other infrastructure is very good, the water and other things. So then the prices will go up. So now here you'll have to take a decision. Now if you are going to buy it today, it might be affordable for you. You can buy it and you face the tough time for another 1 or 2 years till that infrastructure is developed. And after that, let me tell you, one my friend, he had bought one apartment in this estate. Okay, he bought when some around 10 years or 15-20 years back. At that time for 11 lakh rupees only. And after that, in 2010, because of games in the Commonwealth Games, the infrastructure developed. Now today, and then after this, metro also has come. Now today the flat in that society, even 2-bedroom, is not less than 1.25 crores. And
the multiple that you get when that infrastructure project comes is very, very high.
And today the driving time from there to Connaught Place is less than 20 minutes. Metro is inside the campus. Take the metro and you can go to Connaught Place in 15 minutes. So now today that project is world class.
Right.
It's a huge. So similarly, what I want to say is this, that you'll have to take a risk and you'll have to face the consequence also. Now suppose if the project is delayed, then you'll have to suffer a bit longer. And
when your residential project was delayed, you've got RERA to go to, you've got the consumer courts who are very sympathetic to you. One thing that we have noticed is, because it's end users who are driving the market today, there is a lot of pressure on developers to make sure that the area is also livable. And what we have seen is, take the case of Rajnagar extension, where 22 developers got together and formed an association as a pressure group on the government to deliver those facilities that were important to make that area livable. Similarly, you can see that the Dwarka Expressway, the developers have got together and formed a pressure group, and they are trying to ease some amount of the pain of those who have decided to move in early.
Yeah. They are building the private roads and things like that so that people can commute. Even today, people do live there and they do commute.
Right.
But only thing is that certainly they don't have that world-class infrastructure which the developers or the government had promised to them.
Right.
So that is the problem they are facing.
And I think because the developers know that going forward you cannot promise anything that you can't actually see developed, I think there will be there seems to be a small change in the market, but we won't be able to tell you that every infrastructure project will complete on time. There is definitely a risk involved, but the pace of construction of infrastructure projects have gone up significantly.
Yeah, that is true.
There is Rahul Singh of Dubai who says he will move to India in 6 months and is looking for a good property in the Gurgaon area. Please suggest where I should invest. Because we're focusing on infrastructure, we are talking about the southern peripheral road on which the fortunes of the golf course extension road hinges, and also the Sona road where there is an elevated expressway that is to come up, and that will Badshapur. Yeah. You have the Dwarka expressway. If completed, there is a large number of completed good projects along the Dwarka expressway. Like we said, 70,000 already, 1.5 lakh houses is what is planned for. You also have the golf course road where a large number of projects are ready depending on your budget.
Where the infrastructure is also developed.
And where the infrastructure is already complete. The rapid metro is functional, the road network is functional, the last underpass is under construction, and after that, that would be a completely signal free
and that is going to happen within 6 months' time.
Within 6 months' time. So in terms of Gurgaon, the infrastructure work is happening at breakneck speed. Also, in the core Gurgaon, there is a decongestion happening with the IFCO Chowk to Rajiv Chowk work that is happening. So therefore, come back to Magic Bricks, check out what the options are, and come back and post your queries back to us, and we would be happy to help you along. There's Nakul Sharma who is planning to do some investment in Gurgaon. Suggest some good projects in and around Dwarka Expressway. While we don't suggest projects, Nakul, what we can tell you is what you should consider when you buy. Prabhakar, give your checklist on how you should choose projects along the Dwarka Expressway.
Now, in Dwarka Expressway, now if he wants to buy, I believe, now where does he work? It depends on that. If he is working towards Delhi, I mean, he should buy near Delhi side, near the Dwarka side. Now, on Dwarka side, prices are a bit higher than what it is in the NH8 side. Or in between also the prices are not, but there are projects there where the prices are available, flats are available from 5,500 rupees per square feet to 8,000 or 9,000 rupees a square feet. But only thing is that where he works, and what I think that today, because the sector roads, particularly going towards NH8, is not that good, so he should consider to buy either towards Delhi side or towards Manesar side.
Right.
Because from there he can reach to the NH8, I mean, in no time, and from this side also he can go to Delhi side very fast.
Nakul, what we are actually telling you is that for today's livability, go to the two ends of the Dwarka Expressway, because both of them are attached to the existing infrastructure. When the core infrastructure within that area is not fully operational, you have to ride the infrastructure that is already existing either in Delhi or in Gurgaon. But having said that, on the Dwarka Expressway itself, we mentioned this in one of our earlier episodes as well, that the AIIMS has started a unit, and we've also had one more. I think there's another hospital that has come up, and you've got both
social and otherwise infrastructure is world class going to become. I mean, they have promised. On the basis of that, only Dwarka Expressway was. First they envisioned, and they thought that it should come up like that.
And schools have already become operational. A couple of hospitals are operational. As the density increases, you're also going to get more social infrastructure. There's Sakshi who's asking for the new master plan. How will it help in the growth of the southern peripheral road?
Now, southern peripheral road is almost complete now. Now, only thing is connectivity towards Gurgaon. The northern peripheral road is also going to be, completed very soon. And on both sides of the southern peripheral road, particularly the DLF's colony and other colonies have come up. And as per the plan, this is planned. I believe that it has huge prospects, and in the coming times, particularly its driving distance or driving time to the main part of the Gurgaon is also not much. And as Sohna Road, this Golf Course Extension Road is already operational, it's very wide, very good road network. Now, only thing is this, that metro is also coming towards that.
Right.
And once the metro comes, then certainly the importance or the value of that area will further improve.
And the metro alignments are still being worked out. The final alignments have not been declared yet. But there is definitely, it's on the cards that both the Golf Course Extension Road and Sohna Road are going to be connected. It's not clear whether it is going to be connected to the Rapid Metro or the main metro or the airport metro, which is proposed into...
Yeah, which might come to our Dwarka, from Dwarka Expressway.
From Dwarka Expressway through Old Gurgaon into the newer sectors.
Yeah.
So, when you say what should you consider, you should consider present living conditions, present infrastructure, future infrastructure, and how soon that is going to get off the ground. Anything that is announced, anything that is underway, please check how that is happening, and if you have more queries, do keep writing into us and we would be happy to help. There is Jatin Kumar of Noida who says, what should a buyer keep in mind when looking at locations such as Noida Extension where occupancy is very less?
Now in the Noida Extension, occupancy is quite okay, particularly...
Today it would be at about 20-30%?
No, like in the Gaur City, it is 70-75%. In Gaur City, it is now almost fully occupied. Now, in other part of the city, the people have started giving the possession, and because most of the mid-class people have bought it, so as soon as the possessions are given, particularly the water supply is there, sewage is there, because it is in the Greater Noida. So all the infrastructure is developed, physical infrastructure. Now, the schools and other things are also started running. So possession has been delayed, and that is why the people are not coming. But even in the Supertech or in the Gaur City or in the other city, wherever the possession have been given, people have started coming, because the other infrastructure like the driving time or the road and all those networks are complete in that area. And particularly driving towards Delhi is not that difficult. Some more roads some more bridges on Hindons. One bridge on Hindon has already been built, which will become operational in the next 2 months' time. Built is complete. Only thing is this connecting road has to be built. Now that connecting road will also be completed within 2 months or 3 months' time. That's what the authority is saying. And once that happens, then it will further ease the traffic will ease on the main road, which is the existing Gaur City connecting that bridge. But otherwise, infrastructure is there, and it is not 20%. I believe that where the possession have been given, I believe 45 to 50% occupancy is there.
Wherever possession has happened, the occupancy has started going up. The occupancy was low because the possession was not given, projects were delayed, and already every day both Prabhakar and I have been carrying these stories about how each developer is committing to handing over how many projects in the next month, 2 months, quarter.
In next 1 month's time, around 25,000 apartments will be given possession in this area.
And of these 25,000 apartments, we believe that a very large percentage is end users who buy and who move in because they are already paying rent somewhere, and with the EMI and rent.
Only thing is this, that now school exams are say in the March, so if suppose they are living somewhere else, so okay, till March they might postpone it. But as soon as the school exam over, they can move with their children, they will move to the new flat. So all this occupancy, whatever his finding is low today, is mainly because of this, because they can't move because of some other reason. Otherwise, I am sure by June, July, the occupancy level will go up further, very high.
Right. We've addressed the entire... There is one more, I think, Prabhakar, we should be talking about, which is the Bahadurgarh area, the Rohtak Metro. The metro link all the way to Rohtak, which is completing at a very rapid pace, and that opens up one segment of Delhi, which Tata Housing is there. There are a large number of units there.
So many areas will get connected. If the Bahadurgarh metro starts, then particularly the entire West Delhi side will pick up from Paschim Bihar onwards. and particularly now there is one more road from Noida to Bahadurgarh. Basically, they are trying to build with a bridge on Yamuna. Earlier, it was to be taken up by NHI, but now I believe that this Noida authority is taking it up. So, with all this kind of a connectivity, the road network to Bahadurgarh is going to improve. Now, only thing is this, that how much time will it take? This we can't commit. It may take 2 years, it may take 3 years.
The metro
is going to be completed. Metro will start, say, in the next 6 months' time.
In fact, the metro is starting, and a large number of units in Bahadurgarh are only waiting for the metro connectivity to hand over possession and become livable.
Yeah, it will become livable certainly, because with the metro the commuting time will reduce quite a lot, and so that will, I mean, make that entire. And another is the Sonipat side also. Now the Sonipat, the road is very good. Now one can drive Sonipat in an hour's time, but only, I mean, if there is a jam or something happens on the road, then you can't predict that how much time will it take. And there was a proposal. There is a proposal for the metro also, the existing metro to extend from this side, the metro which is going from the university to Jahangirpuri. That metro has to be extended to Sonipat. But I believe it will take some time because it is still in the drawing board.
The announcements have not been made. Once the metro is announced,
he had announced. Once the minister, previous chief minister of Haryana had announced it, that the Delhi metro is going to come to that place also.
But the alignment is not finalized.
No, alignment has not been finalized.
Once the metro is announced and groundwork starts, it takes 5 years.
Yeah. So it will take some time to Sonipat. But Sonipat is another area where, I mean, because of the Rajiv Gandhi Educational Institution, or because of some other, particularly lot of land and lot of good office network, office places have been developed. So what I believe is that as the economy will pick up, a lot of companies may move towards that.
Because the real estate is
development in that side. So the prospect of Sonipat will also improve. But only thing is this: the government should work something on the network, or road network, or otherwise on the metro, so that commuting time should come down.
But that's a little futuristic.
Yeah, it's futuristic.
Bahadurgarh is a lot closer.
Bahadurgarh has already happened.
Yeah.
Particularly the metro has happened. Road is already on the planning board, and that is going to, particularly the outer. This FNG, and then after this Kondli, that KGP is also going to be completed by 2019, and the KGP also will pass through the Bahadurgarh. So if that happens, then again the network will complete, particularly road network will further improve, and commuting time to Bahadurgarh will improve.
So we've actually covered all the transport infrastructure that's happening around Delhi and the NCR region, all the way up to Sonipat, all the way up to Bahadurgarh. We have actually tried to tell you what's happening and what is the status of these projects. When you buy, please remember that you are the best person to do your research. Wherever you have doubts, please write back to us, editor@magicbricks.com. We pick up your queries, we address it here, there are a large number of people who've written to us from Bangalore, Hyderabad, and Chennai. And just to assure you that we are going to be picking up your queries as well, and maybe a subsequent edition, we'll announce it well, but a subsequent edition will definitely feature what are the prospects along the infrastructure corridors across the country. Thank you so much for watching This Week in Property.
Thank you.